All right, hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, Pastor Corey here, touching bases with, the family of Yah. It's been a while since I've been on, but I just want to leave this video. I'm going to share it probably on Facebook and a few other places. But, it's in value of what I'm going to share this Sabbath. We're talking about what happened to the daughters of Zion. And so looking at that very thing, when we begin to look at the daughters of Zion, there's a lot of things that come to mind. One, I think about how, we're set up to fail when it comes to building families. My Isha was talking this morning, and she was just talking about some of the tragedies and the information that have come forth on how the daughters of Zion were treated, in care facilities when they were going to give birth, that how a lot of women were being made sterile, or, the complications that some of the daughters were having because of the types of things that were going forth, deaths that were taking place, and it's just a lot of things coming to mind. We're going to really look at some key scriptures. We're going to look at Exodus chapter 21. We're going to look at Isaiah chapter 3 and chapter 4. We're also going to look at Matthew chapter 25. And not only that, I want to evaluate Dinah, Jacob's daughter, in Genesis chapter 34. And we're going to talk about, so here's the crux of what we're going to be looking at. See, one, in Proverbs 31, when you really look at it, if you get opportunity, I want you to really go meditate on Proverbs 31 and look at the position of a virtuous woman, all right? And I know we say that, and a lot of people say it with a mindset of using it as a cliche, but there's more depth to it, opposed to using it as a cliche. This is a very, very important thing. The reason why I said, Genesis 34 is I look at Jacob and the thing that he told Shechem. There's something he knew in terms of intermingling. Now, I don't want to blow this out of proportion, but the thing that my Isha and Sister Jasmine was talking about that's important, that reason why I brought up those other chapters is because, one, there is a scheme against the dark-skinned races, all right, in the earth. That's nothing new. That I ain't making nothing up, but yet in value, there's an attempt to continue to eliminate the numbers, all right? And so knowing that, then, this is what I said to them this morning, Yah has already prepared for this moment, and that's why we're looking at Exodus 21, or looking at Isaiah chapter 3 and 4, or looking at Matthew chapter 25 and what Yahshua said, because there has to be an understanding. I had a sister ask me, in fact, one of my clients, she asked me the other day, what happened if my husband doesn't provide for me? What happens if, I'm paying all the bills and I'm taking care of everything, and he don't see a need to work or to provide for any of my needs? And I showed her Exodus chapter 21. I said, because here's a thought from Exodus chapter 21, because after all, the Most High Yah said that this is our wisdom and our understanding. In looking at that, we have to understand that we are being in position to be the repairers of the breach, meaning we got to look out and see the intent from the word and understand. That means when we look out and see the intent, we see that one, men, you are the regulators of the house. We was looking at that from the mechanical translation of the Torah, word for word. And when you look, in chapter 4 of Genesis, when the Most High was breaking down what the lot of the woman was going to be because she did listen to the serpent and eat, Yah had put a lot on her for her to follow. That is for her to be under her husband's rule all her days. And so society has done a good job in painting a picture in saying that it is an evil thing to submit to your husband, or that is old. We don't live like that anymore. I heard that long ago, that we don't need to live in that capacity any longer. And so the more I see what Yah is doing, then I know without a doubt, in righteousness, I am to rule over my wife in every aspect of her life. And I remember she was doing a video, a few weeks ago, and she was live, and I peeked in, and I was just watching the video. And she said, "I didn't know you were watching." Well, yeah, you damn right I'm watching. Why? Because I want to poke my finger in your forehead? No, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Numbers 30. I'm gonna follow what the Most High Yah said, because I'm learning how to be this, and I'm listening to my shepherd, Pastor Charles Dow, who has been an excellent example of how we as men are going to restore. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm in here keeping my life together, keeping my body together. I'm looking at Proverbs 31. My wife does things weekly, daily, to find out what it is to make sure my health is at optimal levels. And she does it with such joy, and it's just amazing. And so, I know that's what's needed. At the same time, I'm seeing the issue that our race of people is being eliminated. And we don't know what that is, to have a family built on that type of substance. I didn't grow up in that. And when I look at these things right here, and this is why we're going to have this Sabbath message at 4 o'clock on March 23rd. It'll be 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube. Also, I think we're going to broadcast from the Charles Dow page. We're going to get that up as an event today, so people know it's there, because this is very, very important for us if we're going to be repairers of the breach, if we're going to call ourselves Israel. One, women, you have to be prepared to be put back in your place. Notice I said you have to be prepared to be put back in your place. That means that your say-so goes from here to there. You have to be minimal in your speech. Why? Because the Most High is doing things in order. He's doing, in my house, it's a understanding that how do you help build me up daily? What is my word firm in his house? Or do you really recognize that it's my building up over you building up your own self? And that's the word, because it's for a reason. It's protection in that with the Most High Yah. And society has removed that thought from us. And so with that, we're going to look at what happened to the daughters of Zion, meaning we're going to look at the nakedness of the daughters of Zion has been uncovered. We're going to look at the pronouncements that have been made against the daughters of Zion, meaning the balding in the scalp, because we're wearing, these different, weaves and just all the junk that we're putting in their head. I'm no longer attracted to that. I used to be attracted to some ghetto shit back in the day. I mean, the red hair and the gold teeth in your mouth and all that. That's where I grew up. You know what I mean? So everybody was doing it. And so I thought, that it just looked good to me. But as I look out now, I really adore and honor the beauty of a woman when she can walk firm in who she is without anything that is added unto her except the natural thing that the Most High have created her in. And when it matches a beautiful spirit, meaning that, just like my wife, to me, she's extremely beautiful, because outside, yes, you're beautiful, but inside, when we talk, we discuss the word. When I'm sitting down, I'm explaining the next thing and the next thing to you. You're tuned in to me. We eye to eye, and that's what I need. I don't need what's in the world where I can't get a word in, or your mom was a certain way, so you're carrying on the same persona that she carried on. Or we see that you have women who you go work all day, you go bust and then you come home and all the shit is tore up. The house looks nasty. It looks like a pigsty in there. There's no food. Definitely no conversation, because a lot of these women are mind numb, because you are a part of this microwave generation where, all you want to do is sit up with your nails done, your hair done. All you've done is fill your eyes with, the stories as the world turns, and all the fabricated life that's on television. And so there's no substance in the conversation. And so in restoration, I'm raising my daughter and my sons up to understand order. We have to return to that. We looking at most of the daughters of Zion now, as they're returning, they're returning with reproach. Why? Because they have worked in corporate America. So you don't know how to nurture your children. You don't know how to nurture, your husband. You don't know how to be obedient, because in the workplace, you're ruling over men all day long. You have been diseased. You have been just without true understanding. And so when it comes down to what a Hebrew man needs, see, there's a difference in a man that's out in the world versus a Hebrew man, what he needs. See, that is a special place in Yah, because he's doing something in the earth according to the word. And so people miss that. See, I am a different type of man. I always have been. We were talking this Sabbath after, the message, that we was talking about. We were simply talking about how in the word, in Genesis chapter 4, when Yah was giving a mandate to Eve and letting her know that Adam and all the rest of the generation, men were to rule over them. They were going to have to be subject. And so the word that the mechanical translation used was that the man was to regulate in you. And I began to ask all the daughters of Zion, what does that mean to you? And do you really see the need for a man to regulate in your life? And all of them answered yes. Well, guess what? You wouldn't even know that, in the world, because, it's this thing, like I was talking to my client the other day. See, reason why you and your husband are having this type of issue, because guess what? There has not been a foundation of order set. You don't really know. He don't really know. You're trying to set order. He believes he's in order because he's just quoting scriptures with no fruit, with no work. And so we don't have anything, opposed to when you come to a ministry like Straightway and you see, our shepherd, you begin to see how Pastor Dow lives. It's I don't know what's going on with the screen. I think it's out of focus. There we go. But anyway, See, Pastor Dow has set a great example for me, who I've always have had this in me. In the world, I didn't have a problem regulating, not at all. I didn't have a problem regulating because that's a part of me. So I never was going to be with a wife who was going to regulate me, because I didn't deal with you. You didn't get that deep in me. I've had instances in the past where I set a boundary. I set how I was going to be, what I was going to do. And guess what? If you didn't line up with it, then immediately you found me going the other direction. And you wonder how I ended up out of your life. Well, guess what? You wasn't in line with me. And I've always been like that. So even when I look at my Ishai and our age difference, that fits perfect for me. Because one thing about it, I find that a lot of women that are my age, well, guess what? You've been abused, you've been used up, you've been everything. So now I can't tell you nothing. You know what I mean? And so then that leads us to why you're going to want to hear this message on this Sabbath, because, there is hope for you, but you got to understand that Yah is making positions. He is making a way for you. And guess how? He said, in that day, 7 women shall come and grab a hold of one man. Now, guess what? And when I read it to my client in the gym, I said, notice that they said they're going to get their own food. They're going to get their own raiment. Only give us your name. Look at that. A name is going to help take away reproach out of Israel, out of the daughters of Zion, that now they don't deal with that reproach anymore. So, hey, we're going to really talk about some things, we're going to really lay out, because I want to get into some visuals on looking at the position of the daughters of Zion. Hey, you see it, I see it, and it's a terrible position that we hold, not only, as a nation, but in front of the eyes of all the other nations. When I just standing here thinking about this, I can begin to think back in the days when I used to watch the videos and think about songs like I Need a Soldier. And I used to see these women, these what they call video chicks, standing on videos with T.I. and some of these other folks. And we didn't know that we were degrading these women and we were devaluing. So now they don't really have value, really, from the spiritual realm. When you are without knowledge, you don't understand. In Israel, it was a big thing to be a virgin. That's what Christ had given in the example in Matthew 25, when he said, the kingdom of Shemaim is likened unto 10 virgins. Well, why 10 virgins? Well, for many reasons. We'll talk about that on Sabbath, but we don't hold that value no more. So, but a name can take away that reproach. All right? A name can take away that reproach. And so we're going to look at that, but we got to understand that you, as daughters of Zion, you got to begin to put yourself in helping to restore these young daughters. They don't know the ways of the Most High. Don't go beat them down with scriptures, but you got to look out and see that these folks are really hurt. Think about the hurt that you had experienced before you found the Most High Yah, and think about some of the hurt that some of you all still deal with, because really deep down inside you are still hurt. Why? Because you're wondering if you're ever going to have value again because of what has come about, your life, knowing that you want to be married again, or some of y'all would love to have children, or some of y'all would love to be restored after the life that you have. Well, guess what? The Most High has already made provision, but some of y'all really need to be delivered of those spirits and those thoughts, that self-condemnation, the things that you have dealt with in the past. You need to begin to prepare your heart so that now the men, the patriarchal rule can really move through in such a way that the men that are being drawn back to the Most High Yah, that are righteous, that are full of strength, that's not trying to just hoard women, or just not trying to just have a house full of women because you want to run a whorehouse, but really understand that we are responsible for planting seeds that are going to be seeds of righteousness. And remember, the Most High Yah said the children of the wicked are counted as spittle. The nations are counted as spittle. So the seeds that matter are those who come to the covenant of the Most High Yah, and it ain't many. It's only a few men like Pastor Dow, myself, and other men that you see here in Israel that are really striving. We're not going out being whores. I don't care about really touching a bunch of women, because guess what? After a while, guess what? You got folks that really that are going to be coming into this way that want to be restored holy as a person. Those of us who have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that's our job. That is a part of the harvest. All right? That is a part of going out and building a holy nation, because we have, I'm going to leave you with this. Make sure you tune in, if this is something that you are interested in. If you have questions, leave those questions down, and maybe, we can get those answered, or maybe they already are answered, in what's going to be taught, Yah willing, on this upcoming Sabbath. I thank you all for who are tuning in right now to this. I bless you. I pray that the Most High Yah begin to restore us to such a great level, because we are a mighty, mighty Hebrew Israelite nation of people who have awakened and found out who we are. And, I'm excited. And those of you all who are men, be restored. Don't be ruled over in your own houses anymore. Those of you who are sisters on this, begin to prepare your heart. And I bless you all, I pray that the blood of HaMashiach be upon you, your house, and all that you're going to touch. Everything that you do at this point, this evening, I pray that it be about restoring the righteous way of the Most High Yah. Hey, shalom, shalom.